ॐ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वति नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणम् तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। अखण्डं सच्चिदानन्दम् अवाङ्मनसगोचरम्
अखण्डं सच्चिदानन्दम् अवाङ्मनसगोचरम्
आत्मानमखिलाधारम् आश्रये भीष्टसिद्धये
आत्मानम् अखिलाधारम् आश्रयेऽभीष्टसिद्धये
अर्थतोऽप्यद्वयानन्दानतीतद्वैतभानतः
अर्थतोऽप्यद्वयानन्दानतीतद्वैतभानतः
गुरूनाराध्य वेदान्तसारं वक्ष्ये यथामति।
गुरूनाराध्य वेदान्तसारं वक्ष्ये यथामति।
अथ जीवन्मुक्तलक्षणम् उच्यते
अथ जीवन्मुक्तलक्षणम् उच्यते।
जीवन्मुक्तो नाम
जीवन्मुक्तो नाम
स्वस्वरूप अखण्ड ब्रह्मज्ञानेन
स्वस्वरूपाखण्डब्रह्मज्ञानेन
बाधनद्वारा
तदज्ञानबाधनद्वारा
स्वस्वरूप अखण्ड ब्रह्मणि
स्वस्वरूपाखण्डब्रह्मणि
साक्षात्कृते
साक्षात्कृते
अज्ञान तत्कार्य संचित
अज्ञ-
कर्म संशय विपर्ययादीनाम्
अज्ञानतत्कार्यसञ्चितकर्म संशय विपर्य आदीनामपि
बाधितत्वात्
बाधित
बाधितत्वात्
बाधितत्वात्
अखिल बन्धरहितः ब्रह्मनिष्ठः
अखिल बन्धरहितः ब्रह्मनिष्ठः
विद्यते हृदयग्रन्थिः
विद्यते हृदयग्रन्थिः
छिद्यन्ते सर्वसंशयाः
छिद्यन्ते सर्वसंशयाः
क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि
क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि
तस्मिन् दृष्टे परावरे
तस्मिन् दृष्टे परावरे
इत्यादि श्रुतेः
इत्यादि श्रुतेः
अयं तु
अयं तु
व्युत्थानसमये
व्युत्थानसमये
पुरीषादिभाजनेन शरीरेण
मांसशोणितमूत्रपुरुषादिभाजनेन शरीरेण
आन्ध्यमान्द्यपटुत्वादिभाजनेन इन्द्रियग्रामेण
आन्ध्यमान्द्यपटुत्वादिभाजनेन इन्द्रियग्रामेण
आन्द्यमान्द्यपटुत्व not apatutva.
आन्ध्यमान्द्यपटुत्वादि
Yeah, not apatutva. Apatutvadi, that is a typo mistake. Andhya mandya patutva. One more stroke should not be there. Okay, then ashana pipasa shoka mohadibhajanena antakharanena
अशना पिपासा शोकमोहादिभाजनेन
antakaranena cha
अन्तःकरणेन च
पूर्ववासनया
पूर्ववासनया
क्रियमाणानि कर्माणि
क्रियमाणानि कर्माणि
भुज्यमानानि
उज्यमानानि
ज्ञान अविरुद्ध आरब्ध फलानि च
ज्ञान अविरुद्ध आरब्ध फलानि च
पश्यन्नपि
पश्यन्नपि
बाधितत्वात् परमार्थतः न पश्यति
बाधितत्वात् परमार्थतः न पश्यति
यथा इन्द्रजालम् इति
यथा इन्द्रजालमिति
ज्ञानवान् तद् इन्द्रजालं पश्यन्नपि
ज्ञानवान् तद् इन्द्रजालं पश्यन्नपि
परमार्थम् इदम् इति न पश्यति
परमार्थम् इदमिति न पश्यति
that we saw. जीवन मुक्त लक्षणम प्रकरणम जीवन मुक्त प्रकरणम जीवन एव मुक्तः जीवन मुक्तः is liberated while living. Saha, the author has defined akila bandharagitaha brahmanishtaha akanda brahmajnanena ajnana vadana tadajnana vadana akanda brahmani sakshat krite tena ajnana tatkarya karya in the form of sanchita samshaya viparya all these are बाधितत्वात् बन्धरहितः अखिल बन्धरहितः ब्रह्मणि निष्ठः जीवन्मुक्तः यथा श्रुत्यापि उक्तः विद्यते हृदयग्रन्थिः अहङ्कारः ममकारः हृदयग्रन्थिः ग्रन्थिः इव ग्रन्थिः इव ग्रन्थिः the granthi is ajnana karyam granthi tadapi granthi vidyate jnanena sarva samshayaha all the doubts will go away only in the wake of knowledge. Is jagat mithya in spite of having done shravanam mananam until this nishtha happens, until the clarity samyak darshanam apratibandha jnanam यदा अप्रतिबंध ज्ञानं जायते तदा एव सर्व संशयाः छिद्यन्ते तस्मिन् दृष्टे परावरे तस्मिन् ब्रह्मणि the brahma which is in the form of paravara karana karya rupa ब्रह्मणि दृष्टे सति सति सप्तमी सर्वाणि कर्माणि क्रियन्ते हृदय ग्रन्थिः विद्यते सर्व संशयाः छिद्यन्ते संशयरहितः सन् अखिल बन्धरहितः ब्रह्मनिष्ठः जीवन्मुक्तः इति जीवन्मुक्त लक्षण the definition Acharya has beautifully given. Now, after mukti, yes, gain the purpose of life, attain the purpose of life, then what else? Still, it seems to be doing karma. But that he says, is not in samadhi all the time. It's not in, it's not seen to be seated, the asana with the eyes closed and meditating on Brahma all the time. There are times where he has to do his duties in the sense, Sharira Dharma. He must be having thirst, hunger, and he has to answer his natural calls. So all these things are the Sharira Dharma that he has to do. And also activities, actions which have to be done, propelled by Prarabdha Vashat. Those karma he has to do. Those karma he has to do, he has to enjoy also. Karma pala, kriyamanani karmani, bhujyamanani cha. Are they not contradicting jnanam? No, they do not. Why? Because they are bharita by jnanam. When karta itself is not there, what about all the karakas involved in the kriya? Kriya itself is not there. Kurvanapi na karoti. Karmanya karmayah pashyat akarmani cha karmayah. Sabbuddhiman. Buddhiman is jnanavan manusheshu. Sayuktaha. Krishna karma krita. That's what the author says here. Pashyanapi na pashyati. Bhaditatvat jnanena jnana aviruddha palani pashyanapi bhaditatvat paramatataha na pashyati. Because pashyati na pashyati. Pashyanapi na pashyati. Even though he sees, it doesn't see. Meaning, it is mithya. Like Indrajala. Yata Indrajalam. Tad Indrajalam iti jnanavan janati. Pashyanapi na pashyati. Paramartham idam iti na pashyati. He knows the magic. He has understood the magician. Therefore, he knows the magic. Therefore, he is no more deluded by the magic. Here, the magic is Maya. The Maya can no more delude him, can no more bind this person. That is why Jivan Muktaha. Therefore, karma which he does or karma which he enjoys because of Prarabdha Vasha, it will not bind this person. Therefore, he is Muktaha. That is what Muktaha is. Dharmanishtaha Sita Prajnaha. Then the next passage, in support of this, the author, he quotes from the Shruti. He quotes from the Shruti. Let us read. Sachakshuhu achakshuhu iva.
सचक्षुः अचक्षुः इव
Sakarnaha akarnaha iva.
सकर्णः अकर्णः इव
Ityadi shrutehe.
इत्यादि श्रुतेः
Sachakshuhu chakshusa chakshurbyam saha vartate. Sachakshuhu. Achakshuhu na chakshuhu vidyate. Chakshuhu na chakshuhu avidyamanaha. Avidya mane chakshushi yesham aryasya saha achakshuhu nanj bhagavīgi. Similarly, karnena saha vartate saha bhagavīgi. Karnaha na vidyate yasya saha akarnaha nanj bhagavīgi. Saha bhagavīgi nanj bhagavīgi samasa. So chakshuhu meaning eyes. Chakshush shabda. Chakshuhu chakshushi chakshumshi napumsakalinga. Such chakshuhu means one who has eyes. Achakshuhu, one doesn't have eyes. So chakshuhu, achakshuhu iva. Even though the person has eyes meaning he sees, but he doesn't see. Though seeing, he doesn't see. Chakshuhu, the indriyani, the indriya which is meant for seeing, for perception, for the perception of color and form. Though with that, the person, the jnani, the wise man, the jivan muktaha, he sees, he doesn't see. Though he sees, he doesn't see. Similarly, sakarnaha, sakarnaha, the one who is with the karna bhyam saha. Sakarnaha, akarnaha, karna is meant for hearing. Though he hears, he doesn't hear, meaning he sees, he hears, similarly with regard to all the sense organs. But he doesn't see. Though the perception takes place with the help of sense organs, but there is no perception in the sense he doesn't have abhimana with the organs of perception. Therefore, he doesn't have the notion I see, I hear, I smell, I touch, I walk. No, it doesn't have. Kurvannapi na karoti. Naiva kinchit karomiti. As Bhagavan said in the Gita, Yukto manyeta tattvavit. Pashyan, Shrinvan, Sprashan, Jigran, Nashtan, Gachan, Sapan, Shwasan, Pralapan, Visrajan, Grinnan, Unmishan, Nimishan, Napi, Indriyani, Indriyateshu, Vartanta iti Darayan, Navadvare Pure Dehi, Naiva Kurvan, Nakarayan. Therefore, Sarvakarmani Manasa, Sanyasyaste, Sukam Vashi, Jnanena. So, therefore, since he doesn't have Abhimana with the Upadhi, doesn't have the notion of Aham Drashta, Aham Shrota, iti, that Abhimana is not there. Because what he sees is Brahma. The seer is Brahma. In his vision, everything is Brahma. Sarvatra Brahma Darshanam. Yomam Pashyati Sarvatra. Sarvam cha Mai Pashyati. Yikshate Yoga Yuktatma. As Bhagavan again said in the Gita. Sarvatra. Yomam Pashyati Sarvatra. Sarvatra. Sarvatra everywhere. Sarvam Kalu Idam Brahma iti. Sarvatra Ishvara Darshanam. So therefore, for this Brahma Darshanam is not away all the time. He enjoys his Brahma Darshanam. Everything is Brahma. He doesn't see himself apart from Brahma. Therefore, though he sees, though he hears, he doesn't see, he doesn't hear. He doesn't have ears, doesn't have, because he has, as such, it means possession. Being Atma, what can it possess? Being Atma, Atma doesn't have any possession. Possessionless is Atma. That is why there is renunciation. What is sannyasa? Renunciation is giving up possession. No, giving up the sense of possession. I possess is notional. I possess eyes, I have ears. That is notional. I do not have eyes. That is why Shruti says, Achakshuhu. Because Brahma doesn't have eyes, Brahma doesn't have ears. Yatadadresham agragam agotram avarnam achakshushrodram tadapanipādam nityam vibham sarvagatam susuksham tadavyayam vidbhutayanti paripashyanti dhīrāha. Mundakopanishad, we saw. Agragyam agotram avarnam achakshuhu ashrotam. That is what the Shruti says here. Then the next, this is from the Shruti. Next, the Acharya quotes from the Smriti Prastha. The Prakana Grantha, Upadesha Sahasri, let us read. Uktam cha Sushuptavajjagrati yo na pashyati
सुषुप्तवच्चाग्रति यो न पश्यति
Dvayam cha pashyannapi cha dvayatvatah
वयं च पश्यन्नपि चात्मतः
तथा च कुर्वन्नपि निष्क्रियश्चयः
तथा च
तथा च कुर्वन्नपि निष्क्रियश्च यः
स आत्मभिन्नान्य इतीह निश्चयः
स आत्मभिन्नान्य इति निश्चयः
Upadesha Sahasri is another beautiful text, a little advanced text written by Shankara Bhagavad Pada. Uktam cha, it is said. What is said? Advayatvatah. Advayatvatah. Sushuptavat Jagrati api यह न पश्यति द्वयं पश्यन्नपि च अद्वयत्वतः. This shloka is similar to the shloka of the Gita. या निशा सर्वभूतानां तस्यां जागर्ति संयमी यस्यां जागर्ति भूतानि सा निशा पश्यतो मुनेः. An account of the knowledge of Advitiya Brahma. Everything is Brahma. All the divisions, all the dualities is completely absent for the jnani. Advayatvatah, advayam, advayatva, then tasil pratyaya. The status of being advaya is advayatvam, tasya, then tasil pratyaya. Tasmat, advayatvatah, panchami arte, tasil. Therefore, on account of the knowledge of Brahma, dvayam na pashyati. Dvayam cha pashyanapi na pashyati. Even though he is Java, this prapancha, he doesn't see. He doesn't see duality. Even though he perceives this Dvaita prapancha, but this Dvaita prapancha is mithya. It is apparent, not real. He knows. Even though he perceives this Dvaita prapancha, which is apparent, which is mithya, he doesn't perceive it. Na pashyati. Dvayam pashyannapi yaha na pashyati. Because of advayatvatah. So sushuptau jagrati. Sushuptau jagrati. Advayatvatah, on account of the knowledge of Advaita Brahma, Advaita Tattvam, na pashyati. Like what sushuptau jagrati. In the sushupti avastha, duality is, the Dvaita is covered by ajnanam. One doesn't see Dvaita. No knowledge is there. No knowledge, no means are available to appreciate duality in the Shukti Avastha. Because sense organs are not there. There is no sense perception. Therefore, there is no duality. Similarly, the wise man here, he doesn't see duality even in the waking state because of his Brahma Drishti, because of his knowledge that everything is Brahma. So therefore, it doesn't mean the wise man doesn't perceive duality. He perceives duality but doesn't give reality to it. Duality is not real. It doesn't give duality. In spite of perceiving the duality, it doesn't give reality. Therefore, the perception of division, subject-object division, it is mithya. It is apparent. When it comes to vyavahara, it is there, but it is not real. Means it cannot bind him. It doesn't give the reality to it because it is Brahma. Like the person who is in sleep doesn't see duality. So to this jnani in the Jagrata Avastha doesn't see duality. That is the Drishtanta. Drishtanta sushupta jagrati eva jnanihi yata suptaha द्वयं न पश्यति सुषुप्ति अवस्थायां तद्वत् जागृत अवस्थायां ज्ञानी द्वयं न पश्यति पश्यन्नपि न पश्यति तथा च कुर्वन्नपि निष्क्रियश्च कुर्वन्नपि similarly in spite of doing he does things does action कुर्वन्नपि न करोति कुर्वन्नपि न करोति even though he does he doesn't do that in the Gita in the third chapter and Lord Bhagavan has said in detail we saw third chapter and fourth chapter jnana karma sannyasa it is कुर्वन्नपि न करोति ज्ञानेन कर्म त्यागः कर्म संन्यास कुर्वन्नपि न करोति even though he does he doesn't do is it not contradictory no it is not contradictory it is jnanam even though he performs karma he doesn't do because there is no kartrutvam aham karta iti abhimanah abhimana abhavatvat therefore त्यक्त्वा कर्म फलासंगम नित्यतृप्तो निराश्रयः कर्मण्यपि प्रवृत्तोऽपि नैव किंचित् करोति सः वै ज्ञानाग्निदग्धकर्माणं तमाहुः पंडितं बुधाः in so many words Bhagavan the Gita has said therefore kurvanapi na karoti in performing action it doesn't really perform action therefore doesn't is get affected by the results of action is not touched by the results of action brahmanyadaya karmani sangam tyaktva karotyah in the fifth chapter of the Gita brahmanyadaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti लिप्यते न स पापेन पत्नपत्र विवाम्बसा न कर्तृत्वं न कर्माणि लोकस्य सृजति प्रभुः न कर्म फल संयोगम स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते so many shlokas we see this idea therefore it doesn't perform action we say because it is not affected by the results of action karma doesn't enjoy reality karma involves all the karakas the reality given to all the karakas are swallowed by this jnanam and there is no karta all the karakas are swallowed therefore doesn't perform karma though he performs doesn't affected by the results of karma because karta is not there absence of karta therefore what is success what is failure that is why sukha dukkhe samay kritva labha labho jaya jayo tamaham sarva bhuteshu is samaha is equal dukkeshu anudviktamanaha sukeshu vigataspragaha there is no success there is no failure he doesn't get affected that is why he is not elated he is not depressed because he is not identified with the karma and therefore with the karma pala therefore atmavit nanya means atmavit na anya ita nischayah saha atmavit atmanam janati iti atmavit na anyah that person is the atmavit who pashyannapi na pashyati kurvannapi na karoti nishkriyah san atma aham atma nishkriyah atma without karma cannot have karma cannot undergo any change to do karma what is karma chalanatmakam karma karma involves all the other karakas to do karma that must undergo change vikaravan that which undergoes change that does karma vikaravat karma atma is aham atma avinashi therefore and it is avinashi it doesn't have parts niravayavaha purnaha therefore karma is not possible therefore nishkriyah aham atma nishkriyah therefore such a person atmavit he alone is a knower of this atma na anyaha saha iha in this loka itself iti nischayah in this world in this loka the one who has this conviction that person is jivan muktaha he is liberated while living so nischayah with regard to this one should not have any doubt So sarva karmani manasa sanyastyate sukham vashi navadvare pure dehi naiva kurvanna karayan. That is the idea. So therefore jivan mukti, that is a palam, that is the result of jnanam. Jivan muktaha, he perceives his dvaita prapancha like everyone else, but it knows that it is not real, it is mithya because of jnanam. Jnanam alone removes this ultimate impurity, ajnanam. Ajnanam, ajnana karya is the samsara. All sorts of fear, insecurities, that apurnatva, abhimana, all this, all these are in one shot, is removed by jnanam. That is by nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram iha vidyate. Bhagavan says, equivalent to jnana, there is nothing, there is no great purifier. Because jnanam destroys completely, like the fire, well kindled fire, how it reduces, how it makes the wood to ashes, reduces the wood to ashes. Yatedhamsi samriddhogni bhasmasat kurute arjuna jnana agni dagda karmanam. It's a beautiful example. Jnanameva agnihi. Jnana agni sarva karmani bhasmasat kurute tata. So therefore there is no purifier greater than knowledge, and this person has gained this knowledge. Therefore, is free. Nothing can bind this person. Is free from the bondage of the sense of bondage, sense of insecurity, sense of unhappiness, sense of apurnatam. That is the accomplishment. That is why we say siddhasya siddhihi, vittasya vittihi, praptasya praptihi iti. Therefore, Jivan Muktaha is completely free. Jivan Muktaha is free. It is said here. So if he is completely free, doesn't mean that it becomes from punya and papa, as because he does karma. Sometimes karma which gives punyam, sometimes karma which gives papam, papa karma. It doesn't do papa deliberately, like stepping on an insect. Like any of us, he may do happen. It may happen for him, but he doesn't do it intentionally. What will happen to those papa punya? That is, doesn't mean he's free from papa punya. No. In Bhajavindam, Shankaracharya says, Rataya charpata virachita kantaha punya punya vivarjita pantaha yogi yoga niyojita chittaha ramate balun mattadeva mattavadeva. This he just wears a rag and just sleeps under the tree. And he is punya punya vivarjita pantaha. He walks the path which is free from vivarjitaha. Punya punyehi vivarjitaha. Punya punya vivarjitaha. Punya punyehi. Tritiya vibhakti. Kartari tritiya we saw. Taraka. He is free from punya and papa. His mind is one with the yoga, with Brahma. Therefore, he lives sometimes like a child, sometimes like a unmattaha. Balavatva unmattavatva bhavati. Ramate, Brahmani ramate. Because yogena niyojitaha chittaha san Brahmani ramate. Therefore, he is beyond the considerations of this papa and punya. He is free. And in Mundaka Upanishad, we saw person does punyam. Whoever worships the jnani, that punyam goes to the person. And whoever criticizes the jnani, that papam goes to that person. Then, if he is, suppose, if the jnani is not affected by papa punya, he enjoys complete, that is, means he enjoys complete freedom. Does it mean he can become unethical? Can he do karma which is not proper, which is not moral? Can he be Can he do actions? Can he be adharmic? Can he do actions which are not in keeping with the injunctions of the Shastra? Because there are statements, ko vidihi, ko nishedaha for the jnani. There is no vidhi, there is no nisheda for jnani. So he can do whatever he likes. Nothing can control him. He can just dismiss the basic code of conduct, dharma, ethical values. Cannot bind because that is also a bondage. Can he not do? That is answer in the next the passage. How do you know the person is a Jivan Mukta? Is there any Lakshana? Yes. Like in the Gita, we have Sthita Pragya Lakshanani. Similarly, here the author says, yes, there are signs, there are indications by which we can know that the person is a Jnani, Brahma Jnani. What is that? It says here. Let us read. Asya Jnanat Purvam
Asya
Asya
jnanat
jnanat
purvam
Vidyamananam Eva
vidyamananameva
Ahara Viharadinam
ahara
ahara
viharadinam
viharadinam
Anuvrittivat
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 Shubhavasananam Eva Anuvrittihi Bhavati
shubhavasananameva
शुभवासनानामेव अनुवृत्तिः
anuvrittihi
भवति
bhavati
Shubha Shubhayoho
शुभाशुभयोः
shubhashubhayoh
Audasinyam Va
audasinva
औदासीन्यं वा
Shubha Shubhayoho Shubham cha Shubha Shubhe Tayoho Shubha Shubhayoho Audasinyam Udasinasya Bhavaha Udasinyam Tadita Anuvrittivat then Anuvrittivat Shubha Vasana Chattva Sandhi. Then here Asya Jnanat Purvam Purvam Prag. Therefore Panchami will come. Jnanat Purvam is not one word. Purva in terms of time, the direction, dish, directional words in terms of time, in terms of desha, will govern Panchami. Jnanat Purvam, before the rise of knowledge. It means before he became a Jivan Mukta. So Jnanat Purvam. Whatever he was doing, Ahara Vihara Adinam, Adipadat, is natural, the tendency. Its natural tendency means that is because of these some samskaras. So whatever the tendencies of corrupting the person, that will flow, that will come down. Anuvrittihi. That will be there in the person. Anuvrittihi. There will be that continuity of that behavior. Like Ahara Vihara Adinam, with regard to eating, with regard to walking. So with regard to eating, so whatever he was eating, he continues to eat the same thing. The way he walked, he will walk. The way he talks, the same way he is going to talk. So all the actions, all will be the same. Therefore, there will be anuvritti of his behavior, his action. Because the person has gained jnanam, doesn't mean there will be any physical change in the person. The knowledge removes ajnanam. It is vritti. It is vritti jnanam. His vision is changed, but not his physical appearance or physical action. So whatever activity he was doing, like the vivahara, whatever activity, day-to-day activities, walking, talking, drinking. So that with regard to that, there will not be any change. So at the physical level, there is no change. Ahara, viharadina, manuvrittihi. Similarly, the vasanas. Vasana also, there are shubha vasana, there are ashubha vasana. There will be anuvritti of the shubha vasana. Vasanas means vasanas are created because of the pattern of repeated action and repeated thinking. The groove which forms in the mind because of the repeated action and the repeated the thinking pattern, the patterns. And that could be, the vasana could be Shubha vasana or good vasana, Shubha vasana or Ashubha vasana, bad vasana. Should be maybe good or maybe bad. But Shubha vasana alone will continue to exist in the person. Shubha vasana like what? Like love, daya, kshama, accommodation, ahimsa, truthfulness, humility, vinayam, all those things. They are Shubha vasana. What about Ashubha vasana? Ashubha vasana cannot coexist with Atma Jnanam. If Ashubha vasana also continues, then what is the point in gaining Atma Jnanam? In fact, the prerequisite for Atma Jnanam is Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti. What is Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti? The person has cultivated the values. Yes, cultivated values. Yes, is a Vairagi, is a Viveki. Navirato Juscharitat. Nashanto Nasamanasa. In Kathopanishad. Duscharita from unethical behavior, Viramaha, yes, withdrawn. So therefore, the Ashubha vasanas will not persist in the person. Only Shubha vasana. Because he has given up Ashubha vasana through sadhanam, karma yogena, raga, dvesha, nivritti, all other Ashubha vasanas, they are nullified, they are neutralized by Jnana yoga and upasana. That is a prerequisite for Jnanam, for Jnana sadhanam. So therefore, he has deliberately cultivated sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, he has earned, because of which one he gained Jnana Yogyata and therefore Jnanam. How Ashubha vasana will continue? It is not possible to gain knowledge without sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. Therefore, since the person has gained Jnanam, it implies that person must be a sadhana chatushtaya sampannaha. Therefore, Ashubha vasanas are not there. He has eliminated deliberately all the Ashubha vasanas, all they are because they are the obstacles. They are the obstacles in gaining Jnanam. Therefore, he has removed all those things. Therefore, the Jnani, a wise person, cannot be adharmika. A wise person cannot be a bad person. He cannot be a himsaka. He cannot be cruel. He cannot be unkind. He cannot be unaccommodative. So all these are not the Adveshta Sarvabhutana Maitra Karuna Yevacha. That is his attitude. That is his value. All the values, Jnana Sadhanani, which are listed in 13th chapter of the Gita, 20 spiritual values, which he cultivated for Jnanam. In fact, Bhagavan equates that to Jnanam. And Bhagavan equates all the negative qualities, the qualities which are not conducive to Jnanam as Ajnanam. Therefore, Jnanam implies these qualities are present in the person. Shubha vasana. A Jnani cannot be a pride. A Jnani cannot be proud of his achievement. Jnani cannot be arrogant. A Jnani cannot wish harm to anyone. He cannot tell lies. He cannot be selfish. So these are all the qualities which he cultivated as a sadhaka. Now, after gaining Jnanam, how this will come back? It cannot coexist with Jnanam. So to gain Atma Jnanam, all the dharmika values are cultivated by the person as a sadhaka. So they alone will continue. There will be anuvritti of the Shubha vasana. There cannot be anuvritti of Ashubha vasana. Ashubha vasanas are all won over by his effort. Therefore, Shubha vasana alone is persist. Therefore, Jnanat Purvam Vidyamanana, this Ahara Vihara, eating, Vihara, moving, walking, etc., these anuvrittis will be there. These will continue in the person. Also, the Shubha Vasanana, Manuvritti Bhavati, Shubha Shubhayoga. But he is Udasinaha. Is completely indifferent to Shubha Ashubha. That is why we say is Atitaha, Dvandvatitaha, Vimatsaraha. is above all the Dandvas. What is Shubha? What is Ashubha? When everything is Brahma, myself. Indifference. He is indifferent to Shubha and Ashubha. It means he doesn't deliberately perform any good action or bad action or avoid bad action. Of course, bad action he will not do. So he's just simply indifferent. Indifferent meaning he will not perform deliberately any action which is good or avoid any action which is bad. But his actions always will be good. That is spontaneously good. There's a spontaneity. There's spontaneity in its action, and that is good. The action has to be good. Spontaneously is good. He cannot deliberately do good action. It is whatever actions he does, it will be good actions only. The sukarma only. And it would be spontaneous. It doesn't plan and do. As in the Gita, Bhagavan has said in the 4th chapter, that whatever the undertaking, Asya Sarve Samarambaha, Kama Sankalpa Varjitaha, all the undertakings which he takes up, the karma which he takes up, they are Kama Sankalpa Varjitaha. It is free from Kama, not propelled by desires. Propelled by desire doesn't take up the karma. Sarve, Yasya Sarve Samyak Arambaha. Arambaha means karmani which he have karma activities which he initiates. They are devoid of Kama Sankalpa. Kama Sankalpeki Varjitaha. Jnanagri Ragda Karmanam Tamahu Panditam Buddhaha. He is a Pandita. Jnanagri Dagda Karmanam, who has destroyed karma by Jnanam. So therefore, there is no deliberately being good, is always spontaneously is good. In that sense, is Shubha Shubhayoho Audasinyaham Audasinyamba Udasinaha Bhavati. Indifferent. Then the Acharya then he quotes from different Prakarana Grantha, Upadesha Sagasri and Nishkarma Siddhi. With regard to his action, with regard to karma, how the karma would be, karma of the jnani would be. Will he do the karma as he likes, papam and punyam, as he likes, papa karma, will he do? Because audasinyam is there. So to support audasinyam, jnani is audasinyam. The author he quotes from the different Prakarana Grantha. Is indifferent. Indifference. Indifference meaning is udasinasya bhavaha udasinam. Therefore, indifferent meaning, when you see anything adharma, not that he will be indifferent. Not that he will be indifferent to the adharma karma of the others. The sense, not that he will be insensitive to dharma, adharma. That is not the meaning of udasina. So udasina is, with regard to the action, what he does, is udasinaha. Because by good karma, he is not going to earn punyam and enjoy karma pala sukham. By bad karma, of course, he cannot do. Even it happens that palam cannot bind him because of the absence of the enjoyer of the result. So therefore, good or bad doesn't make any difference for that person, even though doesn't make, but he will do only good karma. Loka sangrahartam, only loka sangrahartam karma karoti. Loka sangrahartam eva karma karoti. So that is the indifference. So indifference doesn't mean he will behave as he likes, or he will be insensitive to the karma. That is not the meaning. So here the author he defines what is this udasina, udasinyam. The author is that he presents through the different text. What is this Audasinyam, Udasinaha? The text itself, the quotes, the quotes from the different Prakana Grantha itself defines the Audasinyam, Udasinatvam of the Jnani. What is that? Let us read. Taduktam
Duktam
Buddha Advaita Satatvasya
Buddha
बुद्ध
Advaita
अद्वैत
Satatvasya
ततस्य
Buddha Advaita Satatvasya
Buddha
बुद्ध
Advaita
अद्वैत
Satatvasya
ततस्य
Na Buddha Advaita. Buddha Advaita Satatvasya
Buddha Advaita Satatvasya
Yateshtacharanam Yadi
Yatheshtacharanam
यथेष्टाचरणं यदि
Yati
Shunam Tatvadrishan Chaiva
Shunam
शुनां
Tatrisham
तद्वदृशां
Chaiva
चैव
Ko Bedo Shuchi Bhakshane
O
को
Bedo
भेदो
Akshane
शुचिभक्षणे
Iti
Iti
इति
Brahmavit
Brahmavit
ब्रह्मवित्
Brahmavitvam actually. Brahmavitvam. Why is there at the bottom? Brahmavitvam
Brahmavit
ब्रह्मवित्त्वं
Tata Muktva
Tatha
तथा
Mukta
मुक्त्वा
Sa Atmajnah na Chaitaraha
Sa
सात्मज्ञो
Atmajnah
न
Na
चेतरः
Chetaraha
Iti cha
Iti Cha
इति च
Buddha Advaita Satatvasya. It's a compound. Advaita is Satatvam. Satatvam is Tattvam, Tattvam truth, Satatvam. Buddha Avagataha ityartaha. Buddha Advaita Satatvam Yena. Buddha Advaita Satat. Buddha Advaita Satatvaha. Tasya Buddha Advaita Satatvasya. One who as Buddha Avagataha has known the truth of Advaita Tattvam. Tattvena Sahavartate Satatvam. So referring to the person who has known, who has understood the Advaita Tattvam. Tasya, this is from the Naishkarmya Siddhi. Naishkarmya Siddhi, one of the texts written by Sureshwaracharya. So this, the author quotes in response to the question if the person asks, what if the wise person acts according to his whims and fancies? Why can't he be immoral? By his whims and fancies, he can behave. What if he behaves? Yatteshta charanam, yata ishta charanam. What if the person drinks and eats, does whatever he wants? He can eat which is prohibited, he will drink all the prohibited things, and he can behave in a way that is unethical against the Shastram. Because ko vidihi, ko nishedaha. Then further he says, if the Jnani behaves like this, does what should not be done, then what is the difference between the Jnani and the dog? Ko bedaha ashuchi bhakshane. The dog will eat that which is not to the ashuchi bhakshane. Ko bedaha ashuchi bhakshane. What difference is there? Jnani as ateshta charanam, as behavior which is to his whims and fancies, and is not. Suppose if the person is indifferent, udasina to the norms, the social norms, accepted norms. Udasina to the accepted norm. Suppose it is ateshta charanam. Then shunam tadvat, like a dog. Shunam tadvat, like a dog. Shunam tattvadrisham. Shunam, like a dog, ashuchi bhakshane, with regard to eating the food which is impure. Tadrisham, for the jnani, Shunam, tadvat. The dog eats food which are ashuchi. And the wise person also eats and does all sorts of things. So, what difference is there? Ko bedaha, shunam vat, shunam tadvat, shunam
Tattva-darshan.
tattva darsham, yeah, tattva. It is, yeah,
Tattva-drishan.
tattva drishan. Yes, tattva drisham referring to the person who has the vision of tattva, not tattvat, tadvad, no, that drisham, that typo is not typo, its printing is not clear. Shunam tattva drishan chaiva. So, tattva ko bedaha. Ashuchi bhakshane tattva ko bedaha. So, for tattva what difference is there? Ko bedaha, what difference is there? No difference is there. A dog also eats, tattva also eats and does. So, if the person is udasina with regard to good and bad, then what difference? See, if a person is indifferent to good and bad, that's what Audasinyam says. Shubha Shubha Yoga Audasinyam. It doesn't mean he's indifferent to the accepted code of conduct, accepted ethical behavior. It doesn't mean he will go against the Shastra. That is not the meaning. Udasinyam, Udasinaha, Audasinyam. Audasyam doesn't mean that the person will be indifferent to moral conduct, ethical behavior, dharma acharanam. Therefore, there is no yata ishta acharanam. In fact, his acharanam will be in keeping with the Shastra. He is indifferent only in that sense. Only it's indifferent only in that he doesn't have to make any specific prayatna to be good. That is why he is spontaneously is good. He doesn't have to make any effort to be good, effort to do good action, effort to be good. So in that sense, it is audasinyam. That's why he is spontaneously good. He will be good effortlessly. Previously, it is with effort. Now it is without effort. Everyone is by janma. Everyone is prakritaha eva. Janmana shudraha eva. Prakrita purushaha eva. Samskara dvija uchyate is defined by the samskara. And now this jnani has undergone this jnana samskara. Therefore, therefore naturally he will be good. Spontaneously he will be good. So therefore there is no deliberation on the part of the jnani to be good. In the beginning there was deliberation. Now it has become spontaneous. As a mumukshu, the actions are deliberate. The actions are deliberate. The actions would be good. We'll be doing only karma, which are dharmika, kamya, nishiddha. Those karmas he gives up. Nitya naimitya karma nam acharanam. Then kamya, nishidda, varjana purasaram. In fact, that is the definition of the adhikari in the beginning. The author has said, who is an adhikari? Kamya, nishidda, varjana purasaram. Nitya naimittikadinam acharanam. Nitya naimittika prayaschitta upasana anushthanena. The author has said before. Therefore, Nitya naimitya karma is the karma which are enjoined by the Shastram. Whether it is Vedic karma or Lokika karma which are beneficial, which are good for one's welfare. which are welfare for the society. That alone he does. So that what he deliberately undertook as a mumukshu, that becomes spontaneous when he is a Jivan Mukta. So in that sense only it is said he is indifferent. Doesn't have to make any effort to be good. So not it does not it means he is indifferent means he will behave as he likes. That sense the author has said, if he behaves so, then ko bedaha shuchi bhakshane, shunam shuchi bhakshane. Shuchi bhakshane, in eating the ashuchi, annam, food. Shunam, for the dog. The dog, shunam ashuchi bhakshane. Tadrasham, jivan muktanam, buddha dvaita tatatvasya, yataishta charanam, buddha dvaita tatatvasya ko bedaha. Tadrasham, jivan muktanam ko bedaha. So buddha-dvaita tatattvasya yata ishta acharanam, yateshta acharanam, yadi is if. Therefore, yadi is very important because a Jivan Mutta, a Jnani will not behave. If he does so, then he is not a Jnani. That doesn't make any difference between him and the dog. So that's why yadi. Then he quotes from Upadesha Sagasri, Brahmavitvam yata tata muktva saha atmajnaha nacha itaraha. सह आत्मज्ञः आत्मः आत्मज्ञः आत्मानं जानाति आत्मज्ञः न च इतरः, not the other person. Brahmavitvam brahmam brahma janati brahma veti iti brahmavitvam, the status of being the knower of Brahma. The one who brahmavitvam tata brahmavitvam, the author has not quoted the full line. Tata brahmavitvam tata muktva, having given up atmajnaha, that is jnani, nacha itaraha. So the Upadesha Sagasri, the other first line is not reported. That is, similarly, this Atmajnani who has given up all the falsehood, tata muktva, having given up, saha Atmajnana, he alone can become Atmajnana, nacha itaraha, not the other one, not the other person, nobody else. So one who has given up all the falsehood, that person alone can become a Atmajnana, knower of Atma, nacha itaraha, not the other one. Iti Upadesha Sahasri. Then, having quoted from this, then the next passage, the author says, how these values, they continue to exist in the person. These values, the good values continue to exist in the Jnani. Otherwise, vice values depart from the person. Already it has departed when he was a seeker. So, that he says in the next passage. Let us read. Tadanim amanitvadini jnanasadhanani
अमानित्वादीनि ज्ञानसाधनानि
adveshtruttvadayah
अद्वेष्टृत्वादयः
sadgunascha
सद्गुणाश्च
alankaravaat anuvartante
अलङ्कारवत् अनुवर्तन्ते
adveshtru dvishdatu dveshti, second conjugation. From that we get adveshtru trish pratyaya. Dveshtru na dveshtru adveshtru tasya bhavaha adveshtritvam. So adveshta adveshtru referring to the person who doesn't have dvesha. Adveshta sarvabhutana maitra karuna evacha. So adveshtritvam is the status of being the status of not having, the person, referring to the person who doesn't have hatred. Adveshtrutvaadayaha. Tadanim, the word is important. Tadanim, that is referring to the time, kala. That is, tadanim, when the person has gained jnanam and becomes free, jivan muktaha, atmavit, that is, atmajnanam praptavantaha, atmajnanam praptaman san, tadanim, jivan muktaha san. Amanitva jnana sadhanani, the sadhanas like amanitva, adambitva, ahimsa, kshantirajam, all the values which are mentioned in the 13th chapter of the Gita, amanitva sadhanani, they are the jnana sadhanani. Bhagavan say these are jnana sadhanam. In fact, he equates this to jnana. And also in the 12th chapter, there are some values mentioned in the Gita. Though the chapter is named Bhakti Yoga, it's all about jnanam only. Adveshta sarvabhutana maitra karanayevacha nirmamo nirahankaraha samadukta sukham shami santushtaha satatam yogi yatatma dridhanishchayaha anapeksha shutidakshaha udasinaha gatavyataha sarvarambha parityagi yasmano dujate lokaha lokano dudachechayah yo nagrishyati nadveshti nashoshati nakangshati shubhashva parityahi. The word is shubhashva parityahi, shubhashva parityaha, audasinya. The 12th chapter, there are many shlokas which describes the jnani. So all these are to the description of the jnani. Through the description of the jnani, the values are presented by the Lord in the 12th chapter. And in the 13th chapter, of course, the values are mentioned very clearly. So therefore, Adveshtrutvaadayaha sadgunascha alankaravata bhavati. Alankaravata anuvartante. These are the shubhavasanas anuvartante. What anuvartante? This amanitwadi and Adveshtrutvaadayaha, that sadgunaha, all this will inhere in the person. All this will continue to be in the person because these are in keeping with jnanam. Therefore, it will continue to be in the person. As a mumukshu, he has deliberately cultivated these values. Therefore, anuvartante. The person is deliberately humble. Deliberately is accommodative. Deliberately ahimsakaha. When before jnana. Now, after jnanam, spontaneously. Because ajnana nashat, ajnana karya nashaha. Therefore, along with ajnanam, all the other ajnana karya, all the negative values, himsa, this manitvam, adambitvam, hypocrisy, everything's they are ajnana karya. This bhaya, krodha, everything. That's a vitaraga bhaya krodha. And talking about the Siddha Prajna, Bhagavan says, uses the word vitaraga bhaya krodha. All these are the raga, bhaya, krodha, jnana karya. All these are destroyed. Therefore, there is no yateshta charanam on the part of Jivan Muktaha. Acting as he likes, behaving as he likes. There is no immoral conduct on the part of the Jivan Mukta. Then the author quotes from Naishkarmya Siddhi. Naishkarmya Siddhi is a Siddhi Grantha. It is studied after the basic Prakana Granthas. Naishkarmya Siddhi, Advaita Siddhi. Where Sureshwaracharya says, the author quotes, Taduktam
Taduttakam
Utpannatmavabodhasya
Atmavabodhasya
Utpannatmavabodhasya
Annatmavabodhasya
one more shloka. Utpannatmabodhasya hi Utpannatmavabodhasya hi
उत्पन्नात्मावबोधस्य हि
अद्वेष्टृत्वादयो गुणाः
अद्वेष्टृत्वादयो गुणाः
गुणाः
अयत्नतो भवन्त्यस्य न तु
अयत्नतो
यत्नतो
भवन्त्यस्य
भवन्त्यस्य
न
न
तु
तु
अयत्नतो भवन्त्यस्य न तु साधनरूपिणः we can chant, okay, न तु साधनरूपिणः
न तु
न तु
साधनरूपिणः
साधनरूपिणः
उत्पन्नात्मावबोधस्य ये द्वेष्टत्वादयो गुणाः अयत्रतो भवन्त्यस्य न तु साधनरूपिणः. It is in understood meter only we can chant, but it's little difficult. The words are there.
उत्पन्नात्मावबोधस्य यद्वेष्टृत्वादयो
उत्पन्नात्मबोधस्य
गुणाः
यद्वेष्टृत्वादयो
अयत्नतो
गुणाः
भवन्त्यस्य न तु साधनरूपिणः
न तु साधनरूपिणः.
Need to be familiar with the text to chant it here. So utpanna atma avabodha yasya, referring to the person who in whom atma bodha is utpannaha. See, all the values which are spontaneously, effortlessly in the person who has gained knowledge, atma jnanam. So this for the person now natu sadhana rupinaha, no more effort is required. No more effort, no more is there any effort involved for him, involved for the person. So effort is not required for that person to retain these values. It has become spontaneous. Amanitvam adambitvam ityadayaha, they have become the nature of it is, in fact, it is the swarupa, it is nature of the Atma. It is the nature of Atma. Atma is Amani only. Atma is Adambi. Atma is always is ahimsaha. How Atma can do himsa? Himsa is karma. Karma implies karta, other karakas. Atma cannot do himsa to others. It is always arjavam. There is no anarjavam. Always arjavam. These are the nature of the Atma. Atma is Amani. Atma doesn't have arrogance. Atma is never boast himself. What is there is only Atma. Is a second thing that could be comparison and Atma can boast. Atma is Adambi. Similarly, Atma is, it never presents itself as different from what it is, Adambi. Atma is Ahimsaha, never violates, never harms, never abuses anyone or anything. It is similarly Kshantihi, it is all accommodative. Arjavam, Atma is simple, straightforward, truthful. These values characterize the Atma, and therefore the person who knows himself to be Atma, these values are naturally present in that person. Therefore, natu sadhana rupinaha, these have not to be deliberately cultivated by the person. So no more deliberations required to practice his values. In fact, these values what characterizes a Jivan Mukta. Therefore, the author Nishkarmi Siddhi Kara, that is Sureshwaracharya, says Utpanna Atma Avabodhasya. Utpannam Atma Avabodha Yasmin Saha, referring to that person. Utpanna Atma Avabodhasya. What? Utpanna Atma Avabodhasya Adveshtvaadayaha Gunaha Ayatnataha, without any effort. Aprayatnataha Ayatnataha Bhavanti Asya. Natu sadhana rupinaha, not in the form of sadhanam. Not in the form of sadhanam, it is present in the person. It is ayatnataha, effortlessly present in the person. It is said. Then that is the meaning of the shloka, simple shloka, Nishkarmya Siddhi. So Nishkarmya Siddhi, the quotes means after studying Nishkarmya Siddhi and all the Upanishads, Brahma Sutra, Vedantasara is studied. Because it has reference to all the granthas, all the Prasthanatrayan, Prakarana Grantha also, advanced Prakarana Grantha. Then the next passage, where the Kaivalya Prapti is mentioned. That is, what happens to the Jnani when he gives up the shariram. We will read this also. We will try to complete today, maybe another 5 to 10 minutes. Then the tika is left out, that we can see in the next class. Kim bahuna
किं बहुना
किं बहुना
ayam dehayatra matrartham
अयं
अयं
देहयात्रामात्रार्थम्
देहयात्रामार्थार्थम्
icha aniccha parecha prapitani
इच्छा
इच्छा अनिच्छा परेच्छा
प्रापितानि
प्रापितानि
sukha dukkha lakshanani
सुख
सुख दुःख लक्षणानि
arabdha palani
आरब्ध फलानि
anubhavan
अनुभवन्
अनुभवन्
antakarana abhasadinam
अंतःकरण
अंतःकरण
आभासादीनाम्
आभासादीनाम्
avabhasakah.
अवभासक
अवभासकः
We have to split. Avabhasakah san
अवभासकः
अवभासकः सन्
Kashtabhya prashant san. San is Shatranta. Avabhasakah san. Then tat avasane
तत्
तत्
अवसाने
अवसाने
pratyagharanda parabrahmani prane लीने
प्रत्यग
प्रत्यगानंद
आनंद
परब्रह्मणि
परब्रह्मणि
प्राणे
प्राणे लीने
प्राणे लीने सति सति सप्तमी
प्राणे
प्राणे लीने
लीने
सते
अज्ञान तत्कार्य संस्काराणामपि
ज्ञान
अज्ञान तत्कार्य
तत्कार्य
संस्काराणामपि
संस्कारानपि
विनाशात्
नाशात्
विनाशात्
परम कैवल्यम
परम
परमकैवल्यम्
कैवल्यम्
आनंदैकरसम
आनन्दैकरसम्
अखिल भेद प्रतिभासरहितम
अखिल
अखिल
भेद
भेद
प्रतिभासरहितम्
प्रतिभासरहितम्
अखंड ब्रह्म अवतिष्ठते.
अखंड
अखंड
ब्रह्म
ब्रह्म
अवतिष्ठते
अवतिष्ठते.
अवपूर्वक स्थादात will be आत्मनेपदी अवतिष्ठते. Okay, I think we have to discuss on this. We will see. Cannot complete Vedantasara today. Next class, along with the Tika, we will do 26 and 27. This is the penultimate, last but one passage. We'll do that. We have to discuss on this. We'll do it in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidham Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Dhanyavadah.
धन्यवाद
धन्यवाद
धन्यवाद धन्यवाद श्यामजी
धन्यवाद.